Are half-assed workouts worth it? So, a half-assed workout is better than no workout at all. Today was the day for my first post-Christmas pig-out workout. Time to get on the rowing machine. The first couple intervals were good, just to ease into things. Then, etc., etc. This person continues to do their workout. Okay, so I only did about 3/4 of my workout, but I did a workout. I now have a goal of this, etc., etc. The specific goal for this post is not the most important thing. But, just talking about is a half-assed workout worth it, because it's around the holidays. Everybody is kind of going all over the place, catching up with family, meeting up with friends, going out, having a bunch of people in, sleeping in, either back to work, having that post-Christmas hangover, not a literal hangover, but the whole, now I gotta go back to work for a couple days before I have a couple days off. Because for some people, they're going back to work just for 2 days anyway. So people, it's very easy for people to have messed up some of their cycles right now. For people to have just taken a week off, or to have taken some time off, and just from like a non-mobility perspective, just from a health perspective, is that better than nothing? Yeah, of course it's better than nothing. Like, if you were to just like write it out on a whiteboard and say, what would you recommend? A 10-minute bike ride or a 0-minute bike ride? Or a 7-minute high-intensity Tabata in your home? Or watching a movie on your couch? Would you rather watch a TV show on the rowing machine or watch a TV show while sitting down? In the moment, it probably feels like a bit of a harder decision. When you step away from it, I think it sounds pretty straightforward. It's easier in my experience. The hardest part is really starting. If you only have 15 minutes, you might want to start your workout and at least mentally tell yourself, okay, I only have 15 minutes, but I'm going to do 5 minutes and give myself permission to stop if after 5 minutes, if I'm just like really not feeling it. But chances are, the way you're going to feel after you warm up, once you work out, once you start sweating, once you start to get into your workout, you're probably less likely to stop. You're more likely to not do it at all, but you're less likely to start and then just choose to stop. I don't think it's incredibly common for people to have a workout that they really enjoy doing, do 10 minutes of it, and then say, okay, no, I'm having too much fun, I gotta quit. I have to go back on to social media and check my posts, see what's up. So I would do that. From like a mobility perspective, from a more like biological or connective tissue perspective, I think it also makes a lot of sense to just do something rather than nothing. Because at least in the functional range systems, the way that we look at some things sometimes is we're not necessarily aiming to improve one particular muscle, but we're aiming to improve a particular movement. And it's not that we're trying to increase the biceps, it's that we're trying to increase elbow flexion. The same goes with a bunch of different movements. It's not that we're trying to strengthen only the quadricep, but we're trying to improve the movement. And that's because when you look at the surrounding structures around the movement that you're doing, say a squat, it's not only the quadricep muscle that's strengthening, it's also the ligaments and the tendons. It's not only the specific muscle that you would see in a graph on Instagram that is being targeted. Like if you watch those infomercials and you see those people in an infomercial, they may be advertising a certain fitness product, and when they're doing exercises, when they're doing like bicep curls or leg curls, you can see they like photoshopped kind of this like red pulsating view on the muscle to make you feel like, yeah, like my muscle's really pulsing. But there's a lot more stuff in that area than only the muscle. So at least the way that we look at it from like a biological perspective is that there's not necessarily one structure, but there's a flow of structure. So there's muscle, there's like skin that goes into fascia, that goes into muscles, that goes into ligaments, that, it just flows. And when you dissect things in like a cadaver lab, for example, it's easier to see things in isolation. But when we're not in a cadaver lab, when it's just a live being like yourself sitting down, there isn't as much of a clear distinction. They kind of, those structures just all work with one another. There's a flow of that. So one way you can look at it is, should I spend 15 minutes doing an upper body workout? One person may say, well, you're only going to get 50 repetitions of this circuit, and if you want to improve your strength, then you really need 100 repetitions because you need more time. There may be something to be said about that, about having to have a base level of progressive adaptation to see improvements. But there's another perspective that says, would you rather spend 0 minutes, 0 time improving or focusing on your connective tissue, or would you rather spend a short amount of time, some amount of time, focusing on connective tissue? Because that targets then not all, so like the connective tissue, there are a bunch of different structures that make up connective tissue, like fascia, bone, tendon, ligament, capsule, 80% of nerves, cartilage, more things like that. So it's not just that you're working on strengthening your bones. It's not only that you're working on strengthening your fascia. It's that you're also strengthening 80% of nerves. You're strengthening that surrounding cartilage. You're strengthening a lot of stuff in that area, and doing that a little bit, if you can only allocate a small amount of time around the holidays, around this time, that is definitely better than nothing. So if you were to just look at it in this term, would I rather work on 8 or 9 different structures in my body for 20 minutes, or work on 9 different structures in my body for 0 minutes? Well, that's kind of like saying, hey, I can't save $200 this month. I can only save $50. Should I save that anyways, or should I spend it because $50 is not $200? Up to your discretion, but some is better than none, obviously. So at least that's kind of how I would look at it. If you just want to start, do something for 5-10 minutes, and give yourself permission to stop if like you really hate it after 5-10 minutes, but chances are you will not hate it after 5 or 10 minutes.